What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again. We got ourselves the next Theorycraft Thursday for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Childish, and I'm the founder of Epic Fail. It's a 4-guild community comprised of over 100 members. And within that community, we have a channel called Epic Fail Evolution, where we theorycraft about all things in the game, PvP and PvE related. One of the things that we discussed this week was talking about some of the older school units and kind of do a little monster review, which ones are viable, which ones are not. And so we wanted to bring one of those particular units to the forefront here. That's going to be the Phantom Thief. So, I'm really excited to get this out to you guys today because, for the people that are just finding Summoner's War and coming up, this game has been out for 2 years and there's so many units. Now, you have no idea which ones are still good, which ones are still food. And in addition to that, the first, that first, like, thing you want to do is ask the channel and be like, hey, is this great, is it whatnot? And you got completely mixed decisions. So I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this unit, all 5 units, as well as talk about if it has like an enhanced version or if it has a unit that kind of counterfeits it, so that if you have a particular choice that you want to throw in there, as an option not to use this one, then you can go that route. But that being said, the Phantom Thief category of monsters is really unique in nature. So for those of you guys that may even have it and may not, just sit in the monster box, you may want to build this one after we get to talking about it. So let's see. Okay, first one up, it's going to be Gene the Fire Phantom Thief. Now the Phantom Thief family, in essence, is pretty darn strong. When it comes to Phantom Thieves, damage-wise, they're really underrated. And as far as the attackers go, the wind one, the fire one, and the dark one, what's really, really unique about them is that the damage, right, is exceptionally strong, but it also has that aspect of turn denial. And so we're going to get to going on that. So for the for the fire one here, we got ourselves Scene at the Crime. Scene at the Crime being able to do damage and has that stun ability on the first turn with 20% chance. This goes up to 50% when it is max, okay? Next one up, we got ourselves Surprise Visit, having a way of increasing your a chance of critically hitting. And if you critically hit, you get a stun. So you got 2 skills here, 2 single target skills here that's going to allow you to stun your opponent and deny them in turn, okay? And that's not even like the bread and butter of this unit, but this particular passive here, Old Grudge, increases your attack power by 100% when your HP is higher than 50%. So when we're talking about a unit that has 100% bonus just from the get-go, that is pretty darn amazing. And when you get units that have passives like that, that allows you to build this particular unit in a variety of ways, even, sacrificing an attack rune on 2 or 6 for speed or HP for more tankiness, you can go a multitude of ways and still get value out of the unit because you have a way of getting that attack power there and keeping it up there, right? So when it comes to this unit, I am a big fan of it when people kind of get up in that, starting up in that beginner to mid game. But I think it gets surpassed by the likes of Trevor. Now, Trevor was a unit that came out quite a ways after that. This unit is the kind of opposite of Gene, whereas while Gene is strong at the at that first turn when it doesn't get attacked, whether you built it with speed and sync it up with like a Konamiya, or sync it up with some kind of a unit that allow you to a speed-based team, or if you use it in a slow-based approach with a Chloe and a defense breaker to kind of fill in that gap, or if you, again, run it with a slower approach with like a Konamiya so that you could resurge the Fire Phantom Gene and then do your DPS. It's really good at that either first or that second turn, whether you get that first turn or you allow your opponent to get that first turn, you follow through. But after that, it gets a little bit risky, and you really have to set up your team to make sure that you do not get hit, whereas Trevor is the complete opposite. Trevor is not a unit that you don't mind getting hit due to his passive, being able to do more damage when his HP decreases. The attack power will increase and the damage you receive will decrease. So as he takes more damage, he does more damage, and then depending on how you build it, you can make him in a hybrid fashion that will allow you to maximize on that passive when it gets really, really low. And in addition to that, you can take advantage of like a vampire set or whatnot to get that HP back if things get a little out of hand. Okay, so when it comes to The Fire Phantom Thief, I really enjoy it, but now since Trevor has come down, I feel like for a fire assassin type of unit, it's going to be kind of the way to go. Trevor is a self-buffing unit, having the attack power and the critical rate bonus that he can get from here. Because of that, I definitely like that in that aspect. But again, the Phantom Thief is still not too shabby. The stun mechanic, the attack multipliers on that second skill, two different ways of stunning. If you are coming up in that PvP setting and you're running in compositions that don't run any type of immunity or prevention or whatnot, you can definitely slow down your opponent by being able to stun this unit. So let's take a look at the AoE base version of this one here. Let's go with a Julian, okay, the awakened form of Julian. So Julian, when he gets awakened, he gets that leader skill for the arena. Similar to Jean, they get the leader skill bonus. Again, first and second skill are completely the same. You got that single target skill for both here, and then having that stun capability on the second as well. This Showtime is the kind of like the icing on the cake when it comes to the one unit out of all five, that has a stun type of mechanic on all three skills. So regardless of how you utilize this one, you do have the potential to lock down your opponent, which is why I really like this one. The stun percent chance on this one here is a little bit lower. It can be increased. I think it's up to 30% on the second skill, and the cooldown time can get reduced to about 4. But it's still a relatively low type of stun chance. Okay, so with regards to the third skill, the damage multiplier is nice, but it's not as like strong as I would like it to be. And when it comes to talking about this unit versus units that have come after it or before it, Julian is really fun in that beginning to mid game where you're not dealing with a lot of people that are have those runes and they don't run any kind of will or whatnot. But as you progress in the game, you're going to start having to deal with compositions that are going to be running a little bit of will and are relatively different types of units that are built in certain fashions. Some of them tankier than not. So with respect to this unit, is there a unit that kind of counterfeits it? Everybody knows about this unit. So Lucian, I mean, everybody knows about Lucian, but let's just talk about the bread and butter of the skill. The only natural 4-star unit that has an AoE attack here, rocking that amputation magic, being able to ignore that defense. There's a couple of units out there in the natural 4-star category as of recent that have put ignoring defense mechanics on it, but this is the only one with a consistent ignoring defense mechanic on that third skill. The multipliers on this one are second to none, and it's so hard to ignore the strength of this when, again, you have that opportunity to literally do insane amount of damage while taking away the whole defensive mechanic from the unit. So Julian, though, again, I'm a big fan because it does have you can build it in a DPS fashion, and you don't have to run like a despair set on it to take advantage of a stun kind of mechanic. There are people out there that definitely play around with that aspect of the despair set, but despair, fatal, whatever you got to do to get those stats that you want to do well, you're going to do really good with this one. So let's see here. Next one up, we got ourselves Guillaume, the Dark Phantom Thief. So this one here is similar to that fire and win one, bringing that first and second turn abilities here that's going to do great damage while being able to stun the opponent. Okay, third skill, Elaborate Plan. It is a passive giving you 50% critical damage and the decreasing the chances of receiving a critical hit. So this has that defensive mechanic with regards to critical reduction. As you guys know, we generally build our attackers in that, attack crit damage attack or HP crit damage attack, depending on what type of monster it is. So being able to prevent the opponent from doing critical damage is pretty darn strong. The amount of damage that they're going to do on you is going to be drastically reduced, and it ties in nicely to this unit because this unit is relatively squishy in nature. So if you can reduce that, it definitely gives that more of a survivability aspect. Critical damage is scales extremely well, so having the 50% bonus is extremely nice. When it comes to this unit in the leader skill, it is great, but again, it is an arena-based leader skill, so if you're looking to play around with it in the Guild War setting, you won't be able to take advantage of this. But overall, a really nice unit. Similar to the fire one, we're going to build this one, with respect to trying to get, a great amount of attack and critical rate, as well as critical damage here. So however you decide to do it, attack, critical rate, attack, critical damage, attack, depending on what kind of runes you have, mix and match so that you can take advantage of these damage here, and making sure that you have yourself enough critical rate in addition to this plus the 50% that you just get normally, so that you can make sure that you're critting on this unit all day, right? When we're talking about the unit that's definitely going to surpass this, or definitely going to be the one that's going to counterfeit this unit, I mean, this is a unit that needs no introduction, guys. The one and only Theomars. You know, when we kind of compare passives here, the dark element being neutral is not going to have any kind of issue when it comes to disadvantage, but this unit here is going to have that elemental advantage, so this is why this one is favored. In addition to that, it has that endure buff that will proc whenever it takes a fatal blow. So with regards to the dark one, right, it is a 50% chance critical reduction. However, it is a 50% chance, right? It's not guaranteed. So the opponent does have the chance to potentially, you know, one-shot you if you're building this relatively squishy, right? So, but other than that, guys, it's still an amazing unit. The damage multipliers on this one as well as the fire one are really, really underrated. So if you ever have the opportunity to at least, you know, build it up and test it out, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Really, really nice. So let's take a look at this next one here. Luis, the Light Phantom Thief. This one here, same skill, Scene of this crime. We're bringing a little bit something new to the mix here. Arrest, randomly attacking the enemy up to 3 times and decreasing the attack target's attack speed for 2 turns with an 80% chance. So with respect to how it used to be a single target attack. Now it's a random attack. I do like that because that's going to give you more opportunities to reduce the attack speed. But it is, of course, at randomizer, so it's not a guaranteed to hit, you know, the entire party. That being said, this illusion magic, while it is unique in nature, being able to, you know, even out your HP and prevent the opponents from dying for 2 turns with the invincibility buff, the cooldown is really, really high, and I feel like when it comes to invulnerability skills, there's way many better units that are going to provide yourself some kind of a invulnerability buff that you can take advantage of. You know, when I was thinking about the PvP setting, I mean, the most common used unit when it comes to invulnerability is going to be Chloe, the Fire Epicon Priest. And then when it comes to TOA, I know that a lot of people love to use a light-based unit that's going to provide you that invulnerability, the Light Fairy, Neil. That is another option as well when you're trying to tank those dark-based units, you know, in like the harder forms of TOA, TOA hard, respectively. So, you know, that being said, this defense leader skill is very lackluster when it comes to this unit. We're not gonna be utilizing this in an arena setting. But, you know, overall, with respect to the first skill and the second skill, they are nice, but the third skill definitely makes it more of a trophy than anything. I would probably stay away from this one. I wouldn't build this one. Just keep it in a monster box. I pray that they change it for the better. Now, the reason why I left the last one here is why I made this video to begin with, right? When we talk about unit reviews and whatnot, a lot of these units that get that we have maybe have had for, you know, a year and a half, 2 years or whatnot, or maybe if you're new to the game, you just recently pulled. There's so many other units that surpass them, as you've, you know, kind of listened to the rest of this video. This is one of those units that I truly feel is still viable in the game today. Out of all the units in the categories, the three damage-based units, the wind, the fire, and the dark, are all great damage dealers, right? But that is where the forte is. The wind one is the only one that you can make an argument with utilizing it in like a PvE setting because of the fact that it has that stun mechanic on all 3 skills. But when it comes to lure, you can make an argument that lure is by far the best one out of all the 5 units when it comes to the utilization of it. This is one that you can use in multiple aspects of PvP and PvE, right? So this one here, let's take a look at the skill set. Stunning the opponent, and then similar to the light one here, having that random chance of you know, landing that attack speed decrease up to 3 times, and then that's attack speed is going to be for 2 turns, okay? Again, this one can be brought with a cooldown to 3, so it is pretty nice to have that on a 3-turn cooldown. And the next one here, this is a very great skill. The only skill that I can think of in the natural 4-star category that's not only going to provide you the AoE defense break, but an attack bar manipulation in the negative matter. So when we're talking about using this unit, getting that first turn, getting those defense break, and resetting those attack bars down by 50%, this is really going to set your PvP team up, for success. Obviously, when it comes to this unit, the first thing you guys think about that everybody's been talking about for quite some time since the unit has been announced is, of course, Galleon. Galleon is the unit out there that is going to be the one that kind of takes over the role. Why? Because when it is awakened and it gets that time to loot, not only are you going to provide yourself that defense break, but you're going to give yourself that opportunity to provide that attack buff. So if you don't have a Galleon, then Lure is a really, really good option. I really do like him. But here's the deal. Let's go back to, kind of what we were talking about. When it comes to Lure, where is this viable? This is something that you can use just about anywhere to take advantage of when we're talking about Kairos Dungeon, even though it's not, it may not be considered optimal. When transitioning from your PvE, like Giants B10 teams, or even Dragons B10 teams, you can make an argument for, transitioning from those really, really support-based, teams and working into that transitional faction, transitional team, making a little bit of speed, you could make an argument for playing around with this because of the fact that it has that attack bar reduction for those towers that you find in Giants B10 and Dragons B10, right? In addition to that, if we're talking about staying on that PvE side, right, as we progress into Giants B10, we move over to TOA and start playing around with there. This is another great unit because, again, it has that stun ability on the first. If we build it with an Despair, we can take advantage of multiple units possibly getting stunned here on the second. And then, of course, not only do we have the attack bar manipulation and the defense break, but we do have ourselves a way of stunning if we so choose to build it in a Despair-based function. So you got that PvP aspect, setting up your DPS for success, and then you have that PvE related, being able to manipulate the towers in the Kairos dungeon, as well as the different stages on the TOA bosses, not only the bosses, but the regular stages, being able to manipulate the attack bar and deny the opponent the turn if we play around with it in that Despair type function. So again, this is an amazing unit. I've always been a big fan of a Despair set on this one. Despair Focus has been my favorite build to do with this one. Generally, I've always kind of built it in a support-based faction, so speed, HP, accuracy, or speed, HP. If I have the accuracy subsets to get it done. But overall, as long as you have a decent amount of accuracy to make sure that you're not missing the chance to resist this, I think you're going to be sitting out pretty good. And I personally like, when it comes to PvE, in Kairos Dungeon, I like to have, generally around 50% or more accuracy. When it comes to TOA, I like to be pushing around 60 to 65 accuracy. I feel like it's a pretty safe bet. So overall, guys, this is the things that we kind of discuss when it comes to the game and whatnot. I mean, so many different units out there we could talk about, but today I just wanted to focus on the Phantom Thieves, as I truly feel when it comes to the damage-based units, right? These are some of the very, very unique ones that have very great multipliers with that ability of turn denial. And then when it comes to the support unit, the really only one to talk about is Lure here. Having that ability to be utilized in so many different aspects of the game. If you have not been fortunate when it comes to Galleon, Galleon is always going to be the strong one here. But again, don't leave this one on the curb, because you can definitely take advantage of the kit that it brings to the table. Okay, so if you like this video, please feel free to comment in the comment section down below. Tell me a little bit about these units. How do you utilize them, so that we can share them with the community and kind of help them build their teams for success. Okay, thank you guys so much for your support, and for everybody in my Epic Fail community that contributed to this. Thank you guys once again for everything that you do to provide great insight for everyone in the community, so that they can improve their teams and their progression. So that is it, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish, or ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we'll see you in the next Theorycraft Thursday video. I'm out.